nice to know that Skull Knight has had a little bit of chrome up since we'd last seen him at all in like the movies or in the manga. I was like, yo, Skull Knight, why are you such the most biggest, baddest motherfucker in the entire series? We know how much we love you. Stay in the shot a little bit. No, Skull Knight, don't disappear, man. No. It's like, oh, god damn it. Like, Skull Knight, come on. Don't leave us. Come on. Stay for a couple of beers. It'll be fine. No. Alright, you just go tell us about the prophecy of, like, you know, Griffith coming back. Alright, there. Thanks, mate. Thanks. That's all we just wanted to hear was, some joyous news and all that. So meanwhile, while this was happening, Guts has been like still running for another day and a half, just like, oh, I fucking do it. And he encountered Skull Knight, and he was just like, oh, you've got an interesting companion, I see now. Like, you've got an actual little fairy alongside with you and all that. And it's like, when he was just starting to telling him about this prophecy, where it was like, look, we're both here the same reason. It's like, oh, there's a hostile here? No, the worst of kind is here. There is going to be God Hand arriving here sometime soon. Like, you've seen the prophecy already with, like, the Hawk and all that. You know that at some point, Griffith is coming back at some point. And it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. That is not a good thing to hear about right now. It's like, you know, that's the last of my fucking problems. Like, I need to go and get Casca back. I don't need that shit. I mean, like, honestly, Guts did not have a very, very big focus on this episode at all. Like, the most that you ever got with him in this, like, the entire episode was that. Like, the start of the show. Like, seeing that part and, like, kind of the ending of him, like, knowing that he's nearly, like, arrived there. A lot of it was focusing on Farness and Luca, and focusing on the other characters like Nina as well, like focusing a lot on them. And very interesting, like a big chunk of this episode was like finding out about like Father, you know, like Mogus' like people, and that was a really nice, I guess, something, because you get to see like, so they're like, all of them have something wrong with them. They're either very deformed or they have this rare disease. Like the guy with the crow mask, like has like, you know, like what he has this rare disease when he's like put sunlight on him, his body starts turning like all deformed, and that's why he wears that crow like mask on there. And while like he can't like really show his face, but Mogus was the one that gave them light and showed us like, you know, even like, you know, God would accept him even though they were like all like accounted for as monsters and everything. And it's like, that's like really messed up and all that. And it's just like, yeah, I felt like kind of really bad through him, like that this is sort of the fate that they had to suffer. And it's like, and the more I'm more upset is that there's some psychopath like Mogus that was the one that ended up taking him in, because he's such a piece of fucking dog shit, and I can't stand that man. It's like that, and it's like, oh, fuck you, Mogus. And like, this is how like hardcore this guy is. He 1,000 times a day gets on his knees and fucking fight, and like he just lands on the like starfishes on the fucking floor like Patrick style on fucking like SpongeBob, and I was like, this motherfucker, like, and I love when the show's trying to be a little bit late and he just keeps like reusing the same footage over and over again, like when it's just doing that, and it's just like, oh god, it looks dumber than it is, and it's just like, I'm sorry and all that. I know this is really good. Like, if you guys are eating, I'm apologizing, but I'm sorry. Every time when you see fucking Mogus' face like that, all fucking veined up, he looks like a fucking ballsack. I am sorry, guys, ladies and gentlemen, but it's like, he looks like a ballsack. I am sorry. Like, that's just like, the veins don't help at all, or like that. It's just like, that's all he's like looking for. And it's just like, even when he's like, I like, with Thanos, just like, I like, you know, going from there, like, oh, I don't know what to do and all that. It's like, you know, like, well, shouldn't we let these people in? And it's just like, he's like, if it's for God and God alone that we act and all that, just like, regardless of what, just believe in God, everything will be fine if you believe in God. And Savagezweipanda just there like, the fuck? Like, seeing this shit, it's just like, come on, like, man. I mean, maybe that's because, like, like, talking about religion is a very, you know, even regardless if it's in this world or our current world, like, right now, it's always a very, very touchy subject to talk about like that, but this is just one of the times where you clearly see how religion is just being clearly abused, and how people in the modern world as well abuse religion because it's something they should never, like, talking about heretics, so like, why shouldn't I believe? And especially like here, like in a world where it's like, it's one of the only few hopes that you think you can have in the world, but then you like got people that take it to the extremes like this, and just other than that, it was just like, it was crazy. And then when we got to see one of like Luca's girls, Nina and all that, the one that we saw like who was bleeding around, is like this guy that was just like, who's seemingly in love with her, and it's just like, you know, I care about you and everything, even though that you're a whore, even though, you know, you got what's wrong with you and all that, like you got, you know, the pus and everything and blood coming out of your vag, and it's like, I still love you regardless, like we're good. And it's just like, that was kind of rough. And it's like, if you truly love me, go at midnight and like follow me. And those two go to a fucking valley where people are dancing to a fucking Minotaur man who's got a fucking goat head on, snake penis like that. Kids like you, it's like you gotta kiss that shit. You gotta fuck it like in this shit and all that. We gotta die, you know. We gotta do all this like crazy shit like that. And I was like, well then, and honestly, that right there, where people say that's a homage to something, that is straight out like some shit from Devilman. That is, where it's like literally near the start of the series of Devilman, something of that similar like situation happened, and it's like that's where like I'm pretty sure like Miura got that, and it's just like they're fucking and dancing, and it's just like he was fine, like it was like yeah, drink this shit and all that, and become one of us and all that, and it's like. And then there's like fingers and ears and shit and that, and that's what makes him freak out. And Ethan's like, oh, kill him and all that. He's not gonna. It's like, she's fucking crazy. And Luca comes there after like fucking Ethan as well with like Casca, and she fucking like the whole like thing of the brand just freaks out, and the little baby protects her from everyone. And people start eating their faces off this shit. It's like Jesus Christ. And just Luca, like this is the thing where it's like Luca is like how I love how much this character is like, since she's such like. She's a protective mother of like the whole group, and it's like Nina when she's like, oh, you think you're better than us, you're just a whore like the rest, and it's just like she gets a rock thrown at her face, and then she literally grabs her, slaps her, and there's this very awkward, like the scene lasts for a little bit too long of her smacking her ass like that, and it's like naked, and it's just like yeah, this is getting a little bit awkward now. It's like, even with that, I was like, I'm glad there was a couple of panels in the fucking manga, but I was like, can we, like, leave this panel now? Like, I don't want to see these things just getting slapped, and, like, she generally sounds like she's in pain and torture, and it's just like, and she's like, oh, you stupid fucking girl, like that. It's like, you know, come here. And it's just like, it's very weird. Like, even again, it's like the show, like, at this point, we know it's like, how on earth, how they've managed to keep some of these scenes in. It's like, it's miraculous to me, where it's like, you gotta kiss a fucking snake dick, like, and like that, that's, yeah, it's just fucking weird. Like, at the end of the day, like, I'm sure, like, where there was like, oh, it's all hallucinogenics, like, they're here and all that, like, I'm sure a lot of people could clearly fucking see, like, that. It's like, you probably felt like you was in a hallucination when you were seeing this shit. It was just weird. It was just bizarre as fuck going throughout it. It's like, yeah, and then at the ending, everyone just considers like fucking like now Casca's like a witch because she's like able to summon all these spirits and all that. And it's like, we've clearly seen what happens to people that are branded witches or heretics and all that. They get burnt on the fucking stake. So that's gonna be concerning. Where it's like, yeah, maybe Guts, you might want to hurry up with that, because I feel like now shit's gonna hit the fan with the church now, that all of this stuff is happening, and it's just like, even there was a nice moment right at the end, like even after the ending, like they had a nice little scene where it was like, it was fucking like Sepulchre finding out that like 3 years ago that his mother had the same like scenario happen to him, like burned to the wind. He's like, wait, well, 3 years ago, do you remember like as a kid or something? And it's like, you know, like what the fuck, like that was quite quite recently, like what the hell. And it's like, you know, there's some stuff there, and obviously Farnes still going pretty crazy. Like, Farnes is still mentally, like, very unstable. That's the best thing to say about it. But, and seeing her as a kid like that, just, like, burning everyone, it's like, oh, that's a great time. Like, your family's a lovely bunch of people. I can't wait to meet them, you know? Like, it's just like, why can't everyone in this show just have a nice time? Like, regardless if you're having like fucking sex with a Minotaur goat man, if you're having like all this stuff, it's just like, Jesus Christ, just like, have some nice time. I mean, overall, it's like, it was a nice showing of like Luca as a character in this episode. I did really like that. It showed how fucking insane some of these people are and trying to escape from like all this refugee shit. And this is one of the weirder ones where like this clearly was not the focus on the episode, was Guts. Like, Guts was not the focus, and that is probably going to feel very weird to a lot of people, because, like, no, like, what the fuck, you know, Guts is my favourite character. I love Guts. Guts is the best thing in fucking, like, Berserk and all that, but it's like, I always find it interesting finding about the world, and then even how people deal without having the black swordsmen by themselves, like with these certain situations. So look forward to that. But other than that, I really enjoyed this episode of Berserk, regardless of its quality of animation. I'm sure a lot of people will always say that, but like I said, I've got it done by ranting and rambling about that, because we know what the answer is. Yes, it was fucking terrible. But like, that's all from me. So thank you much for watching as always, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I will see you beautiful bastards though next time.